Welcome to Maths with Bob. Today we're actually going to derive the quadratic formula by the completing the squares technique. This is a bit of a big formula. X equals negative b plus or minus square root b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. They've even made up songs about it. That b squared minus 4ac underneath that square root sign there is called the discriminant. If that's negative, then there's no solutions to the quadratic equation, which would mean that the quadratic function never crosses the x-axis. Sometimes they say it's positive or negative definite. But let's go into the derivation. Okay, so here we have ax squared plus bx plus c equals 0. The first thing we do is move the c across, and we get we have ax squared plus bx equals minus c. Then we try to isolate the x squared. So we go ax squared plus, now we need to adjust this coefficient, b on ax equals minus c. Then we divide by a, both sides by a, and we get x squared plus b on ax equals minus c on a. Now we have to complete the square on the x squared plus the b on ax. So we're going to need to halve the coefficient of x, which is b on a, so we need to halve that. A half of b on a is actually b on 2a. Then we complete the square, so we go x plus b on 2a, now all squared. Now we need to subtract off b on 2a all squared, and that's still equal to minus c on a. Now, the reason we subtract that part off again is because when you complete the square, you create too much, basically. Now, if b on 2a all squared is actually b squared on 4a squared, I'm going to move that across the other side. It's going to be positive, so I'm going to now go x plus b on 2a all squared is equal to minus c on a. But it's going to be now plus b squared all over 4a all squared. Now, I'm going to need to build up that minus c on a, so it has a common denominator with the b squared on the 4a squared. So I need to build it up to 4a squared, so I need to multiply the top and bottom by 4a. So and I'll actually make the b squared at the front, so I'm going to go, here we are, x plus b on 2a all squared is equal to, now, b squared minus 4ac, okay, all over 4a squared. So you can see here I built up the minus c on a to multiplying top and bottom by 4a, so it's over 4a squared, so it's 4a times c and 4a times a, and then we then take the square root of both sides, so we end up getting x plus b on 2a is equal to plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac over 4a squared. Now, I can use one of the third laws, which says the square root of a over b is equal to the square root of a over the square root of b, which means that I can break that underneath the square root sign up into equaling plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. That's the x plus b on 2a. Now I move the minus, the plus b on 2a across, and that becomes a minus, so we end up getting x equals minus b on 2a, and then we end up getting plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac, that's still over 2a. Now, I can amalgamate this, and I end up getting that x is equal to now minus b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a, and this is the formula which we're after. And okay, this one here, and I'll just see if I can sort of, okay, that's the one we're after. X equals minus b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. Okay, well, thank you very much for watching.